the next thing we want to do is we're going to initialize Prisma. So I know we just installed Prisma right here, but we're going to use npx to initialize it. Well, I am. You don't have to, but I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it. So what is npx? npx is a tool that comes with npm, and it basically allows you to use CLIs on your computer without having to download them first. That's basically what it is. Prisma is a CLI, and we did install it, but we did not install it globally. We installed it locally. So the weird thing about CLIs in Node is if you don't install them globally, you can't refer to them in the terminal like this because they don't exist globally. You install them locally, so you would have to do something like node modules, bin, or I don't know why, I don't know what that was. Node modules, .bin maybe, there we go, Prisma, and then you can refer to the local one. But who wants to type all that out? That's gross, I don't want to do that. So I could either just install Prisma globally, which is probably recommended, or I can just use npx, which will just run it like it is globally. So I'm going to say npx Prisma, and the command that I want to run is init. So npx Prisma init, hit enter. And boom. Prisma did a few things here. I still think it's funny there's a database called CockroachDB. Like, and people use it. It's a good database. Yeah. Yes.
Just a couple people in the chat were getting errors with the tsconfig.json.
Yeah, I get the same linting error as well. You can ignore it. It's just basically TypeScript saying, hey, like we don't know what files you want us to compile, and we don't know what files you want us to ignore. We don't have to tell it. It's actually smart enough to know. So, and that's because we're not actually going to be building. Like if we were making a library that had an output, then we would need this. But right now we're just going to be using TS node, so it doesn't matter. We're fine. You can ignore it. Okay, so let's see what happened here. So if you ran Prisma init, npx Prisma init, you should have this Prisma folder now. First things first, highly recommend if you're on VS Code installing the Prisma extension. Highly recommend it. It gives you the syntax highlighting, but it also does some really cool stuff for you that's super helpful. So I'm gonna get the exact name of that extension, but I think there's only one. It's literally called Prisma by Prisma. So highly recommend installing that. Okay. I have another extension recommendation that we'll get to later. That's pretty cool. But recommend installing that. And then looking at the Prisma folder, you should have one file in there, schema.prisma. Okay. This is exactly what it sounds like. This is our schema. This is where we're going to write our database schema. So what's in here already? The first thing is this generated client thing. Prisma has another package that we're going to install. That's the ORM. So far, we've installed the CLI that interacts with the database on like an administrative level, but the SDK is what we're actually going to use in the code to do the querying and the writing. And this is just saying, what is the name of that? I guess there's some plans in the future to allow you to use different types of clients maybe, but there's only one Prisma client that I know of, and it's called this, but hey, that's why that's here. And then data source DB is because Prisma can use any type of database. It can use Mongo, CockroachDB, Postgres, SQLite. So this is saying by default it's using Postgres and then the environment variable to that URL, okay? So before we start writing our schema, first let's add our environment variable. You should also now have a .env file in the root of your project. Prisma should have created that for you. So go there, and you should see something called database URL equals. Okay, get rid of that value in that string and paste yours. Mine is not cockroach, so let me not paste that. So remember, you want to get the external database URL, and you want to paste that in there, like that. Don't be looking at my URL. Use your own URL. All right, so next thing we want to do is let's just convert these two files over to TypeScript right quick. So index.js is now index.ts, and server.js is now server.ts, like that. And I can use import now. So I'm going to import Express. If I can type from Express. And I'll probably get like an error here because it's like, you don't have types for Express. Oh, I guess it figured it out. That's cool. And then, you know, no module exports anymore, just export default app like that. Just changing the modules. And then for the index, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just import app from server, and that's it. Just those 2 changes in the modules. And it actually probably might even work without those changes, but I don't want to not have those if I'm using TypeScript, so. Okay. Any questions on this? One last stop for our TypeScript conversion is just, if you go to your package.json, go to the script section, let's make a command called dev, and we're going to use ts node to point to source index.ts. That way we can actually start the server and do something.
What enables us to use import in place of require in this project?
TypeScript. TypeScript has support for that. It's going to transpile that back down to require for us. Or in the case of ts node, it'll just do it on the fly in memory.